Obviously, I was very encouraged up front with how our offensive line played, and I feel like those guys have really done a great job over the summer, and through all the online stuff, have really taken ownership and trying to get better. That was really encouraging. I think we got some really explosive running backs that showed up on Saturday with some of those guys making some plays. But the biggest thing overall is we just got to clean up our mental mistakes, the pre-snap penalties, and take care of the football.
Charlie, how do you feel like the quarterbacks have progressed so far? How do they look?
Yeah, they've done well. I think they've gotten better each and every day, and they've all made their mistakes. First time ever running things, which is hard in an offense. You're running new concepts and all of that for the first time. But each and every one of them's gotten better every single day. The big thing with all those guys is they're not repeat offenders, so they're not going to make a mistake one day. I'm going to coach it up in the meeting room, and they're going to get it right the next day. So from that standpoint, it's been very encouraging, and all three have different skill sets and different abilities, and I think we can use all of their strengths in different ways.
Charlie, anything that's maybe been a pleasant surprise so far for you?
Yeah, I think up front, like I said, on Saturday, I was really impressed with those guys. I thought all summer they were one of the hardest working groups, so I thought they had a chance to do it, but just seeing it in action in scrimmage situation and in practice, it's been very encouraging how those guys are playing.
Coach, there's a lot of competition at that running back position.
Yeah.
What has stood out to you most about some of those guys?
They're just all explosive. It's sometimes I don't even know which one's in the game, and you're popping some big runs, and all those guys. We got 4 or 5 guys who can make big plays down the field. And that's one thing I think is very important, especially playing in a tempo offense. You got to have guys who can finish drives and generate explosives for you. It's a little bit harder to move the chain or move the sticks 5 yards at a time when you're trying to play at a fast pace. So having some guys who can generate some really long runs is extremely beneficial, and we just have multiple guys that can do that, and that's very encouraging.
Charlie, collectively, the receivers didn't have a great year last year. Just could you speak to their progress so far?
Yeah, I think we started off camp really hot at the receiver position, making some good one-on-one plays and some of that stuff. Saturday was just disappointing, but we really called on the run game. We knew that going into that scrimmage, that was something we wanted to work on and see how it was going to look. But those guys have made a lot of plays. You got some big receivers outside. St. Felix and Trey Dukes have done a great job so far in camp. They're big guys who can go win your one-on-ones, similar to the things that you saw at Clemson and stuff that Coach Scott's used to, and throwing those one-on-one balls to some big guys outside. Latrell is a guy who can burn people and go down the field. T-Horn's another receiver who's had a really good camp so far and making plays. And we just got a whole bunch of slots that can play. Bryce has done a good job being Mr. Consistent, catch the ball, and generate some explosive as well. So I've been encouraged with them, and I think we wish we would have had a better day on Saturday, especially from the quarterback position too. But we have more opportunities, with some practices coming up here in the future.
I'm sure you're aware of Horn's past and his past injury. Does he look to be 100% from what you've seen?
Yeah, you could ask Coach Scott and all the medical stuff, but he's had a great camp so far. I've been very impressed. He's made a lot of big plays down the field, and he can be a weapon.
Charlie, you mentioned that. You want to go or you want me to go? You want to talk?
You go.
All right. You mentioned that each quarterback kind of brings something different to the table.
Yeah.
What stands out to you about Cade Fortin?
Yeah, Cade is a guy that he's one of the smartest quarterbacks that I've worked with. He can tell you what all 22 players are supposed to do on a play, offense, defense, all that stuff. So he can really use that ability to his advantage, and he can make every throw. He's got great arm talent. He's got good tight release. Confident in where he's going with the football. So I would say that's the biggest thing that stuck out about him is just his knowledge and knowing where to go and recognizing defense.
When you look at the offensive line and kind of, they gave up the 6th most sacks in the country last year. Is it hard trying to get that group going again, or are they just fired up to prove people wrong?
I think that they've been really fired up. Like I said, I think it started in the summer workouts when we started coming back. Brad Cecil is a guy who I think he's really took that group and had a lot of pride about it and getting it right and making sure to have a great season this year. And those guys have just worked really, really hard, been really committed. And our offensive line coach, Coach Mo, has done a tremendous job with those guys and getting them to believe in their technique and what they're doing and really get them going. A lot of credit to him.
How's your experience gone, kind of collaborating with Coach Scott on building the offense?
Yeah.
Where do you see the progress really being made in the field?
That's been one of the most fun things. You talk about a guy who, Clemson, they lead the country in offense just about every year. And the really cool thing is kind of taking the things that I've done in the past and some of our core concepts and combining it with the things that they've done in the past and their core concepts. And it's really cool because you have two people who are both looking at really, offenses that have had a lot of success historically and getting fresh eyes on them too. And so kind of to shape and mold things to make it collectively the best system that we can make, and kind of make it the USF offense. It's not the Clemson offense here. It's not what I've done in the past. Whatever. It's our new offense here and what we're going to do. And he's a extremely intelligent coach, and he knows what he's talking about. So that's been a blast.
Charlie, Noah brings a lot of veteran experience with that quarterback position. What has stood out to you most about him?
First off, his leadership ability. For a guy that came in super late, he's come in here, and the guys I think look up to him as one of the leaders, on the team and on the offense. He's done a great job of, showing that he's going to work hard. He's going to do everything the right way. He's going to practice the right way, be a competitor, and I think that's really proven to a lot of guys that he's got it in him. And he's got a lot of ability as a runner and a passer. He's a true dual threat guy, so that's very fun. He can be very creative with that. But more than anything, I've just been impressed by his temperament and how he's come into the room and how he's come into the team and advanced.
You mentioned Noah as a runner. Is he somebody that, if he's not under center, could be utilized elsewhere on the offense?
We'll see. I'll let Coach Scott talk about all the personnel decisions and all that stuff, but right now he's doing a great job for us in the quarterback room.
You mentioned working with Coach Scott, combining your philosophies.
Mhm.
He's obviously been a co-OC. Has he been in your ear a little bit more as head coach, or is he stepping back and letting you do everything there?
I think it's been a good mix of letting us do what we do, but at the same time, we've spent a lot of time together, especially I don't know about you guys, we had a lot of time during the lockdown and all that stuff. So that was a great time for Coach Scott and I to kind of combine our heads and get things going. So it's been really fun. I love talking football with him. Love him being around. Whether it's watching tape with him, going over installs with him, whatever it may be. That part of it's been really fun.
There's not a lot of schools that bring in both an offensive and a defensive coordinator from the same school like Florida Atlantic. Coach, did that help the transition a little bit, having both an offensive and defensive coordinator that have been together for the last couple of years?
I definitely think it helps. Coach Spencer and I feel like work really well together. We make sure to communicate on, whatever it may be. Hey, I'm installing this, you're installing that. Want to make sure to give each other different looks and things that they want to see and things that they'll see in the season. I think that's definitely helped. And also just from a team standpoint, I believe in what we do on defense, and I believe in Coach Spencer, and I've made sure to communicate that to our offensive players. Like, this guy's a great coach, and he's going to do great things for us. I think having that, helps with the team chemistry. And there's other coaches on the defensive staff that came from FAU as well. So I think it just helps for building our chemistry as a staff.
Charlie, do you have a playbook? Do you operate out of a playbook?
Yeah, we have a playbook.
How much of it have you been able to install so far?
I think we knew, with everything going on, you didn't want to throw, I was at FAU for 2 years. By the end, when we're playing that bowl game against SMU, you could have thrown anything at those guys. They'd run it a million times. So, they had like 6 installs by that time. Plus in 2017, the system was basically the same thing. Coming in here, you get one fall camp and you're playing a season. So we definitely wanted to make sure that we made things as simple as possible for our guys. So definitely not the whole playbook's in. We definitely got a good bit of it, but we just want to make sure that our guys can play fast and not be thinking too much out there.
Yeah, thanks, Coach.
Absolutely.